Hello everyone, welcome to Scary Town, the Goosebumps and Fear Street review show. This week we're going back to Horrorland with Welcome to Camp Slither. Slither. And there's the back. So, unlike the other Goosebumps books, the Horrorland series, there's no tagline in the front, but there's plenty of taglines in the back. So we got Crawling out of Trouble, a cold-blooded secret, a biting mystery. So that's good. Alright. So this is actually our second adventure where it's set in a summer camp. So our main characters this time around are Boone and Heather, a brother and sister. Boone is the outgoing. He's very much into spending time outdoors. So there's that, and so he's a perfect fit for, going to summer camp and enjoying the wilderness. And his sister Heather is kind of like the typical annoying sibling, but she has like this stick of like saying like these really dumb. She has like these catchphrases that she's taken from her grandma, and they sound like really corny, like "Give me a ding dong break," and really she's a little bit irritating from the few moments that we spend time with her, but there's a little bit more to her character than that. But she really doesn't play that big of a role until later on in the story. So that's important to remember. And we meet up with a couple other side characters that are really just kind of there. Much like Welcome to Camp Nightmare, there's always that one kid that the main character makes friends with, who is like this whiny, he's just like a scaredy cat, who's like, oh, because the camp they're going to is called Camp Hither, and of course that rhymes with Camp Slither. And I don't know why they're called. I guess Camp Hither is a better sounding, more realistic name than Camp Night Moon. So I guess that it has that going for it. But he's telling Boone that all these stories of like the camp is full of snakes, and there's this giant snake that lives in the lake, and they trick kids to go out into the lake and swim there, and the giant snake eats them and stuff. And of course this all sounds ridiculous. So they once they go to the camp, there's just kind of like the usual stuff. So there's a lot of snake references in this, as you would expect, and it's not very subtle about any of this. So the head camp counselor, he is Mr. Crawler. Okay. Each of the cabins are named after a venomous snake. So you got Cottonmouth, Black Mamba, and some of the ones I forget, and that kind of thing. And a recurring thing is they hear the hissing, but when asked about this, the counselors are like, "Oh, this is crickets," or "You never heard crickets before," that sort of thing, or it's just the wind. So don't pay attention to that. There's a ritual that they have to do like twice a day. They have to spray like this orange sunscreen, but it makes their skin kind of peel, and it makes them like really itchy. So they're like skin peeling, like shedding its skin like a snake, right? And I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but I will say this: from what I was gathering from like halfway into the book, and then they keep teasing, like Roddy's keep on mentioning that there's the giant snake that lives in the lake, and so there were two possibilities I was thinking about that that was going to be the reveal at the very end. So you got that the giant snake is real. That's going to be the big surprise, right? And the other is that they're playing spraying the spray tan on the kids, and it's revealed that they're trying to turn them into these snake people, and that the camp counselors and everybody else, they're all snake people. Like maybe like they're either like they're mutants or something, or they're like an alien species or something like that. So I thought that would be really cool if either one of those was a possibility, but it's not. So I'll leave you to ponder what that could be, especially once it comes to revealing what is really going on in the camp. It is a little disappointing, and it is really dumb, but I mean, it really makes sense. I mean, if you have any familiarity with Goosebumps, it makes a lot of sense, and you know, it's really silly. I will say that the story has a very strong opening. I like the characterizations of all the kids, and I really felt an attachment to Boone and Roddy and some of the other kids. Just I kind of wanted to see where things were going with them, and we're gonna be okay. And Roddy, even though he was like a wet blanket, I was thinking he was going to eventually kind of get over his fears, but he never really does. But yeah, Boone is a really good character to latch onto, because he's, you know, much like some of the other protagonists in Goosebumps, he's very strong in the sense that he will stop at nothing to get to the bottom of the mystery of Camp Slither, Camp Hither, and he really tries to marshal other people with him to solve this. And in doing so, there's always this divide between he's a very serious kid, and his sister's kind of like this goofy, this loose cannon, and he's able to, you know, like he gets his sister to go with him to investigate this building that he thinks that, you know, that's where they're gonna figure out the mystery behind everything. And like he tries to get the other kids to go with him, but they're too scared, and so he gets his sister to go because his sister is not scared of anything, and they both share a sense of adventure, and they hate mysteries, so they both come together. They're both kind of opposites, but they come together to try to solve what's going on with this camp. And so I just thought that was really a cool touch, you know, because up to that point Heather was just kind of like there for like comedy relief. She's the annoying younger sibling, so it's like, oh, there's not going to be much to this character. But after their encounter in the building, they become a bit closer, and she really kind of sheds her skin of, you know, just being this one-dimensional character, and she really comes in to really help out the other kids and her brother to overcome the situation in the camp. So I will say, I mean, like I said, the reveal was not what I was expecting. I was expecting something a bit more like over the top. So it took me a while to, after thinking about it, to think like, okay, this is, at first it was like underwhelming, and I thought, okay, this is dumb, and it is dumb, but now I appreciate what's going on with it, and this is, I would definitely recommend this book. It's a lot of fun, you know. The setting of a summer camp is just so great, because it takes you out of, you know, the suburbs and a small town and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of traps the kids in the wilderness and the great outdoors, and that's always interesting because nowadays you don't really see that as much, like kids really going out to play and that kind of thing. So it owes so much to the setting, and I like I like all the snake references and stuff, and it's just a silly good time. As far as negatives, like the reveal, yeah, it was a little bit underwhelming. Um, I mean that's kind of it. I mean it's a pretty simple story to get invested into, and it does that job well. The characters all fine, and so is I mean at first I didn't like Heather because, like I said, she's kind of like this one-dimensional, like annoying sibling, but over the course of the story, she she gets more material, and she shows that she's not just a one-note character, and so there's that, and that's kind of it. So ultimately, this is an enjoyable read. It's certainly more more interesting and fun to read than Say Cheese and Die Screaming, because that was pretty disappointing. So this kind of brings things back to where they need to be for the Horrorland series. It's a simple story to get invested in, and it's a fun ride. So yeah, that's pretty much what I say about that. So we're gonna do something special for this review, and maybe going forward, just see how well this is received. But it's something I've been thinking about recently. So the reviews for the last 2 months have been shorter, and they've been more focused on the review minus the spoilers, because I don't want to spoil the ending and the twists and the reveals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this review is going to go up, and it is without spoilers really, and we're going to do a second video after this where it's just going to be more of a casual vlog of me just going over the spoilers of the ending and some other stuff about the story that I thought that was interesting to me to talk about, and so we'll kind of do that and see how well it goes, because I really miss having more of a casual video of me just talking about the Goosebumps story and just kind of just going with it. And so I'm going to bring a little bit of that back without having like this giant 30-minute or 20-minute video, and it's just a real pain to edit and put together. So I'll see you guys next week for another Goosebumps review.